besides all the other specialized groups that there are within CrossReference, there are other groups that don't necessarily need to have special groups assigned to them. They are a special group unto themselves. One example is members. These are people who have passed your membership class or whatever qualifying criteria you need for people to become members. There's also a non-members group here. And usually it's useful to keep a list of people who are members. And then how would you know who are not members? Well, you can try to keep track of that by hand, or you could use the strength of cross-reference to do that. Starting off, you select members, and this is part of querying. And if you want to know more details about querying, you can look in the querying section. It is very useful and will help you know a lot. You select members. You select all. You select everybody. And then you subtract members. And this is a list of all the people who are not members. And then you could select all these people. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go all the way to the bottom of the list. And then we're going to drag this list over to non-members. And just like that, we have non-members updated. Elders, of course, for your elder board. Deacons for your deacons. And then we have staff. Now, a subset of staff is the pastoral staff. And then a subset of the pastoral staff, of course, is the head pastor. Now, in this circumstance, let's take a look at maybe best practices for using cross-reference. When you want to drag Jerry Dallin, who's the head pastor, into staff, it is best to put him in the group that is most specific. In this case, head pastor. If you dragged his name into staff involved rather than in head pastor, you would lose information. Let me show you what I mean. Jerry Dallin is part of the head pastor group, but that head pastor group is part of pastoral staff, so Jerry Dallin does show up as pastoral staff and also shows up as staff involved. So you get all that information in one go. He's head pastor, part of the pastoral staff, and part of staff involved. Whereas if you dragged his name to staff involved, you wouldn't know if he was pastoral staff or head pastor based on the system. And this is important because if somebody was doing a query that included, say, the head pastor but not the other pastoral staff, his name would not show up. So it is important and good best practices to avoid confusion to put them in the most specific group possible. And then finally, we're down to volunteers. And when you take a look at the section for general groups, you can learn how you can subdivide any of these groups into more specific groups. So I hope this helps you with understanding how cross-reference models a church.